Want me to do a video talking about
Mm, yeah.
Okay. Anything you want me to say in the video? Any area you want me to talk on about them?
Can they be bisexual?
Of course. Of course they can.
Alex.
Mhm.
Do you have a MySpace?
Yeah, it's myspace.com/Alexyss K. Tylor VP.
Okay. Alexyss, what?
K. Tylor VP.
Congratulations. You've been selected to receive a free Nintendo.
Okay.
Okay, thank you. Let me take some more calls. Chat room. Y'all is off the chain here. 770, are you just listening, or do you have a question or comment, 770?
I'm just listening.
Thank you so much for listening.
Okay.
Okay. Trying to make sure I got to everybody. Does anybody in the chat room have any questions or comments? Y'all are so talkative. 313, did I have anybody on the line and not get to them? 313-415?
Alexyss.
Yeah.
This is Marie. I had a question in the chat room. I asked I was listening to you a couple of shows back, and you were talking about how black people need to do certain rituals around the winter solstice time.
Yeah.
Can you tell me some more about that?
I'm trying to remember which show that I was well, basically, it's like the 4 seasons, so it's good to do them. No, the caller's not screaming. It don't sound loud to me. I guess it sounds loud to some people that are on the phone, or that's what they're saying in chat. No, it doesn't sound loud to me at all. Maybe it's y'all phone. It's good to, the parasite cleansing is really good. Your prayer meditations, you have to know, it depends on what type of spirituality you practice. Get in touch with your ancestors to see how to set up the spiritual altar, especially if you deal with African ancestor. Kikamo, you so low down. Do you like Soldier Boy? Anyway, it's good to know how your ancestors worship and set up the spiritual altar unless you're Christian. See, that's what I'm saying. It depends on what you're comfortable with based on what you believe in. And it's also important to detox as the seasons change, to clean your body of parasites, clean your house, just like the old people did. Okay, so you read King, if you're talking about 13-moon cycle, you must be talking about the Mayan calendar. So, yeah, if people practice dealing with the Mayan cosmology, then you want to study that, and you want to deal with the moon phases that way. If you're studying, like, witchcraft, studying Wicca, they do rituals every time the seasons change and with the full moons. So it depends on where you are and what you're comfortable working with. That will determine what types of rituals you do.
So you're saying the rituals depend on the type of
spirituality that you have and what you worship. If you're dealing with African ancestry, then we also deal with the voodoo. And we deal with different levels of spirituality with setting up your altar and calling your ancestors. So if you're not comfortable with those, see, that's why I'm saying it the way I'm saying it, because you have to go with what you're comfortable with. One size don't fit all. So I can't say, oh, do this, do that, if you know that that's not what you believe.
Right. Okay. Well, I'm more towards the African ancestry part. I don't really know about Wicca and all that stuff.
Well, it basically stems from African ancestry and voodoo. It's really It's very similar. The ritual, setting up your altar, honoring your ancestors, and nature. It's really not negative at all, but you can use it positively or negatively. It just depends on your intention. So if you know you're into African spirituality and ancestry, you have to decide which, because there's so much. There's Palo, there's voodoo. There are different gods, and then some might just deal with their ancestors. So you have to decide which of those you're going to practice, or you could take little pieces from each one. See, that you would have to make that decision, and then go ahead and set your altars up and follow the instructions based on that form of spirituality. But it's important to still be involved in some type of spirituality because we are spiritual people, and we really need to tap into that divine conscious and cosmic energy so that we can get the information we need and we can be aware of who we need to deal with and who we don't need to deal with.
Right. Yeah, I've been trying to learn more about that whole aspect of, I guess, spirituality. Thanks, Alexyss.
Thank you so much for listening and calling in.
Nope. No problem.
Anybody else? I want to make sure if anybody got any questions while we still got time. It was a really good show. It moved very well, or at least I said a lot of the things I wanted to say to you for you to be thinking about and get into your consciousness and really be absorbing them and writing them down and just communing back and forth with each other with the information, because we definitely have to start carrying ourselves differently. Oh, Vassie, you don't have to have the cramps. You need to balance your hormones. You need to go to the health food store and make sure you get a supplement for the estrogen and progesterone to balance them in your brain, and you won't be cramping, you won't be swollen, and you won't be craving. That's all you have to do. Thank you, Red King. I'm glad that you were here. I really wanted to hear what you had to say about this. I guess you don't feel like talking today. Did you say songstress? No, y'all don't have to take painkillers for your period. If you balance your progesterone and estrogen levels, you can go get the supplements from the health food store. Oh, I don't even have to drink no valerian root tea. I take the tinctures to balance the estrogen and progesterone. And I know now this week it was kind of rough, but I realized, too, that usually my periods are pretty easy since I started taking the supplements, but I noticed if I eat some junk, then I'll have a problem with my period like from having that filth in me. So I realized, too, that I have to keep myself really clean, and when my period's on, that's when I do a lot of, like, fresh juice. And I noticed that I don't swell because I used to crave the chocolate and a lot of bread and a lot of sugar, and my stomach would swell, and I would just have bad headaches and backache and stomachache. I just didn't want to be bothered. I just wanted to sleep. I was real, real sleepy. But I noticed that I don't have those issues anymore, but I had to take a lot of stuff that I liked, a lot of junk food. I had to take it out of my diet and keep my body cleaned out and just make sure I have the well, that means you probably have worms and you have a hormone imbalance. If it's just when your period's around, you have a hormone imbalance because you're not supposed to be bloated, cramping, and have a sweet craving when you have your period. They tell you that it's normal for your period to be bad, and it's not. That's not what you're supposed to be experiencing, but they don't tell you that because they want you hooked on meds and Midol, and now they got another medicine that they tell you to take. If you don't want to get your period at all, if you want to come on like 2 times a year or something, you can take this stuff, and really what they're doing is encouraging you to be sterile. They're encouraging you to turn against your reproductive organs. Yeah, Mo Blue said yes. And the people don't realize, they think this is convenient. They are teaching you to turn against yourself and to give up your reproductive organs so you won't reproduce. Part of population reduction and really of destroying the feminine, getting you to turn on your own energy, turn on yourself, and you think they're doing you a favor. But they come in such a nice package and you're in so much pain, you don't focus on it. You don't even think about that's what they're doing. Oh, honey, I wouldn't get it. Ain't no way. And I even heard Alex Jones saying they got a pill now that a woman can take that will dissolve your uterus. Well, Keyring, that's what you want to do. I just realized a lot of problems we have is not because of old age. It's not natural. It's just the stuff that they got us taking. And they encourage a lot of black women to get hysterectomies, too. And that's what I was talking about earlier, about the nigger dick and the nigger mentality that we have, and letting men shoot off in you that feel that way about you. That's why we're having so many problems and repressed emotions.